Anyway, the final argument I want to talk about, and is something I have thinking about after doing this research, is about the possible identity of the figures represented in the iconography. As I said in the beginning, the Nuragic society is interpreted mainly using the bronze iconography. There is the chief, the soldier that supports him, the priestesses. Just a second. Commoners and beaters. But what information we have obtained studying the weapons and the armor and general equipment of these statues? Speaking about the weapons, we see in the bronzes that the figures carry particular weapons. This weapon, before interpreted as throwing sticks or boomerangs, now appear as particular swords, known as votive swords. These swords were used in the sacred wells and for offerings. Usually, the swords were broken and the parts used for creating the gamma-hilted knife or daggers that I was talking about before. It's interesting that these daggers are represented on the chest of the chiefs, but also, if my hypothesis will be confirmed, in the glove of the so-called boxers. These swords weren't used for war, as the composition of the bronze is basically pure copper, as documented by the analysis executed by Fulvio Schiavo. The sword also has a central rim misaligned, a detail that makes the sword very easy to bend. Also, most of these swords don't have a bronze handle, and they are almost impossible to use. They are like 2 meters height, so it's like a long thrusting weapon, but they weigh so much in the point that when you try to use it, you basically cannot control the weapon. And of course, there are a few cases of bronze handles. So the handle probably was used in wood or horn that is very weak for this kind of swords. But also this motion of thrusting doesn't seem plausible. The other interesting detail is that very often the warriors used to carry more of these swords in the shield. The idea that the warriors could use the extra swords for fighting was the main weapon. This is the original idea. They supposed that these swords were like throwing swords, or when one was bent, they passed it to the other one. But reconstructing the shield, we have seen that usually the swords pass in the middle of the shield, as you can see from some statues that are represented. But in this part, of course, there is the handle. So this means that the warriors was using the hand for handling both the shield and the swords. So we are talking about one handle for the shield and 4 handles, let's say 4 swords. So it will be like something like this to grab on it. This means that there is no like some way for putting the swords behind the shield, like some kind of sheath or something. And this is interesting, as the weapons were presumed for a long time be backup swords for that were throw or daggers or huge bronze pins. The other interesting factor regarding the weapons carried by the bronzes is the identity of the so-called Nuragic boomerang. This idea is based on a particular bronze carrying this. These are all the examples of the handle or the representation of these swords in the little bronze statues. As you can see, it's not very obvious that they are the votive swords, because the dimensions are so little. We are talking about 5 centimeters, sometimes even 3. Best examples, 10, 15 sometimes. So you see this kind of shape, but you can definitely see the handle. The handle is very close to the original ones, and this is something to work on. As you can see, these ones are original handles, very close to the ones used or carried by in the little statues. And this one is in a German collection, you can definitely see the central rim, and this depiction is the most closest one to the original object. And these are all the examples in the shield and the one carried by the statues. This one is in stone, and this is from Mont'é Prama. So, in other examples like this one, we have bronze apples, but in this one, you can still see the parts of the casting, so the sword was not finished. And this one is one of the few examples, but is very strange because this is just long, like 60 centimeters, the whole sword. So probably it was not a votive sword. And in these examples, you can see the correlation between the handle in the shield and the handle in the statue, and also in that one. These, for a long time, were presumed to be even huge bronze pins. So nobody was thinking that they were votive swords. And this is the other main problem, the so-called Nuragic boomerang. In this example, the idea is based on a particular bronze, that is this one, carrying a votive sword and a long curved stick. But looking closer to the handle of the item, we see a detail that can be seen also in other sticks of other bronzes. These sticks are the so-called common sticks, or scepter, carried by the statues of the chiefs. So after having reconstructed the presumed boomerang and observed that with this particular shape and section, the weapon just doesn't work properly, it doesn't come back or doesn't even fly, I presume that we were talking of the same item. This particular warrior then should be a chief in armor. As you can see, the detail, this is the warrior with this particular handle. This is the reconstruction of the boomerang with the same handle, and this is a scepter of a chief. You can see the scepters have always this particular detail. It is the same we see in the warrior, in all of them. This is from Seri, this is from Mutta, and this one is broken. So they don't even presume it's a stick, but they were thinking that this is a sword handle. But when you do a picture very close to it, you can see definitely the detail of this like hemispheric shape. And of course, this detail in the boomerang didn't mean nothing. I mean, when you try to throw it, usually this detail in the handle was like some kind of disturbing in the release, so you could not even throw it easily. And this is another example of a chief with this kind of scepter, but in this example we see that, as for the other ones, the whole scepter is straight. So probably it was just a bending in the statue. And because the warrior doesn't have like the usual items that can tell us that he is a chief, everybody was thinking that it was just a warrior. It doesn't have the normal hat, doesn't have the cloak, so doesn't have the dagger, the gamma-hilted knife on the chest. So everybody was thinking that it was just a warrior. But let's skip to another picture. We see this stick. This is kind of sticks or scepters in other bronzes. Usually, these kind of sticks have the same detail, and they have like this particular shape in the handle. So, especially in the statues called the fellow soldiers, that are the ones on the left, top left. In this representation, we see a horned warrior armed with votive sword, and the other one using a stick, with a stick resting on his shoulder. But many authors have suggested a range of different weapons as possible solution, but not even one seems certain. A look to the handle documents that the particular shape of it. Of course, we have tried to make a reconstruction, and the final shape, as we suggested before for the presumed boomerang, is very close to the scepter's angle. So, if the hypotheses are correct, this means that all the statues of presumed stick fighters with the same detail instead are carrying the chief scepters, as can be for that one, and this one that have the same kind of helmet of that one. As you can see in the picture, the representations are very close between them. Like in this one. This one we have the same details of the fellow soldiers with the same stick carried on the shoulder, the same, let's say, stola on the left shoulder of this one, and this one has the same stola but is a so-called praying leader, so it's bringing an offering of a lamb to the sacred wells. But we see the same kind of stola in other bronzes, like these ones. And of course we see also the dagger, the gamma-hilted dagger, and also the hat, same hat that we see in the chiefs. So this is a collection of different chiefs, and some of them are just offering leaders. If you don't see the whole statue, you definitely see always the same kind of hat, or possibly it was some kind of other ritual, some kind of different kind of dressing or something, but it's definitely always the same thing. So, detail that all they have in common is they have the same representation of this stole kept on the figure's shoulder. The reconstruction showed that this piece of equipment is useless for defensive purposes. As you can see, reconstruction, we have tried to reproduce what we see in the statue. But the reenactors that have tried to use it, they always try to add a belt to this thing. But my point was, why we should use a belt if it's not in the statue? I mean, we are adding something to the figure, to the whole thing, for trying to make it like usable to us. But probably they don't want it. So, if the idea is correct, this kind of stola that is basically useless for protecting the soldier, or doesn't work when you're trying to do some kind of works like cutting the corpses and stuff like that, probably was some kind of symbol. And like a Roman toga can give you some kind of idea. So, in our shrines, we have taken the stola carried from the statue we were seeing before, and we have tried to unfold it. This simple idea is the same thing you see in the chiefs. You have in this example the stola and the presumed war stick. In this example, you change the helmet, and you have the stola used as a cloak and the stick used as a scepter, and you have the representation of a chief. So probably all these presumed stick fighters are all representation of chiefs. But why they are like in this guy's kind of dressing? Because we didn't know they were. We didn't even presume that they were chiefs. The whole idea of the Nuragic society is a depiction with chief soldiers and all the rest of the people, like commoners. But if we think about it, at the time the representation were just used for the high class people, not for offering like for some kind of these builders are called shepherds. I don't think at the time shepherd could afford the bronze for making a representation of him. So we have tried to give this explanation, and this is the final result. Compare the builders with the other statues, you can notice that they have in common also the gamma-hilted knife and the particular hat they wear. but this, I already spoke about this. So the difference between this representation is just the cape used by the chiefs. In my opinion, a possible solution is that the stole carried by the builders is the same cape, folded and left on the shoulder, with the scepter reversed upside down. Why these two differences in the representation? We can just speculate about it. In my opinion, the Nuragic statues in general represent the same figure, not chiefs and warriors and commoners, instead chiefs, armed chiefs with a complete panoply for war, and of course you have offering chiefs. This of course changed radically the pictures that we have for the Nuragic society, and a deep revision at least will be necessary, but just if this theory will be considered valid. And that's all for my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention, and if anybody has questions.